All the content contained in this webcast is for informational purposes only. The investments and strategies contained in this webcast may not be suitable for you. Please consult your own independent financial advisor before making any investment or trading decisions. Good morning, traders and investors around the world, and welcome to Friday's edition of PreMarketInfo.com, where we prepare you for the most important hour of the day, the first hour. Well, good Friday to you, Dennis. S&P's getting a nice pop this morning. It's like deja vu all over again.
Got this option expiration Friday here, Joel. It's a nice setup, I think, today. Nice trading setup for the open. We had a rally into yesterday's close on some huge buy imbalances. It's following through today. So if you're looking to lighten up this morning, it might be your time, Joel.
And lo and behold, Dennis, we're trading at 1380, a number we've focused on for quite a while here, kind of hanging out at the upper portion of the range. But the reason the SPOOs are up, Dennis, is because of earnings.
Earnings. They were all pretty good again, and this time we had noted yesterday that a lot of stocks are priced to perfection, not rallying off earnings. Well, it's calling us out on it this time, Joel, because you have a lot of stocks up. Let's take a look at Microsoft here, Joel.
Yeah, made a high at 32.15 in the pre-market. Didn't get to see all the numbers, but obviously they were good. I don't know, Dennis, stock's up over $1. I mean, how many times you see Microsoft, in the pre-market up over $1?
That was a big move for the stock. It just started marching after the report after hours. Now trading over that critical 32 area. I would say use that 32 for your swing number. If it starts to cut through there, I don't think I'd want to be long. So above 32, it's okay. Below 32, I'd be a little bit nervous. If it really goes into March, our marching mode there, 33 is absolutely enormous on this. We've talked about the big size up there. We talked about how those high frequency traders in the middle of March were leaning on that size, and that's why you've seen these triple tops at 32.95, 32.94, and 32.88, Joel.
Yeah, and just to take a look at the activity going back to April 3rd, we had the 32.19 high on that day. So if you short it there and you get stopped out, try it again at 32.41, 32.46. That was a double top back at the end of March and end of April. But once again, Dennis, okay, here you have a stock that trades, 50 million shares a day, okay, moves a half a point, and now you got it up a stick on $250,000.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, I know what you're saying, Joel. It's like you could definitely move the price. The prices move after hours, and until you start seeing that thing trade 20, 30 million at this price, there could be a little air pocket there on the way down.
And if there is an air pocket, folks, it's definitely going to stop at 31.68. That was yesterday's high. It was also a double top from earlier in the week. So let's call the range in Microsoft 31.70 to 32.50.
You've been eating a lot of Big Macs there, Joel, because McDonald's reported pretty decent numbers. After Yum disappointed, they sold McDonald's off yesterday in sympathy with it. While McDonald's is showing them how to do it, they reported pretty good numbers. Stock is spiking after hours. In the pre-market here, $97 it's trading right now after closing at 95.28. So Yum wasn't good, but McDonald's was still good. The only thing concerning, this is kind of the area where it broke down from yesterday. It's rallied right to that area. Basically, yesterday's high is 97.16. We're trading 97.01. I'd keep an eye on all of that. There is a top from the day before at $98, 97.98. Call it $98. I think you'll get some pretty decent resistance up there too. So it's kind of like this is rallying right into resistance, Joel.
Yeah, you're probably too young to remember when they had their Big Mac promotion. You probably weren't even born yet. Where if you could say all the ingredients on the Big Mac within like 5 seconds, they gave you a free Big Mac.
I don't know if I remember that
Two
one.
old beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions, and a sesame seed bun.
You know what? That is ringing a bell. I probably was really young, though, Joel. You're talking probably back from the 80s, are you not?
Yep.
Yeah, I was probably pretty young, but I remember this little commercial on that when everybody was singing it. So I do remember. I'm not that young, Joel.
Maybe they should bring it back. But anyways, $97, Dennis. I mean, you want to talk about resistance in the pre-market. We are topping out there. I would keep an eye on 97.24. That was yesterday's high. Big range in that thing, Dennis. You're right, and big volume too. for Mickey D's. So everyone, I think, that bought it or sold it yesterday is regretting it a little bit today. On the other hand, if you bought it off that 94 support level, you're getting a quick $3 here. So I would just keep it high in the pre-market high up to 97.24. If it can keep running, then of course you don't want to fight it. But once again, Dennis, here's a stock that traded. Is that right? Like 140 million yesterday, and here it is trading.
14 million, Joel. It's
14. I'm getting a little old here. 14 million in the pre-market, as opposed to 175,000. Big move. I don't know. Low risk short on the open if you cover above 97.24.
Yeah, I think so too. GE reported earnings here this morning as well, Joel, and they were pretty good too. Stock's getting a bit of a bounce, nothing like the McDonald's, but it's up 15 cents. Approaching those couple highs we had there from 2 days ago, 1936 and 1934. So that whole area is giving it some resistance here in the pre-market. It has traded as high as 1955 in the pre-market. I think that's a little overdone. If it starts to get up in the 1950 area, I did see some size up there before, so those high-frequency guys love to lean on that size. They'll probably be sitting in the 1940s. And if for whatever reason this thing just started marching, $20 is absolutely enormous on the stock.
Yeah, GE kind of forecasted this, Dennis, that they were looking to have some decent earnings. That 1955 spike, boy, I don't know if we're going to get up there today. For support, I'd use yesterday's high, 19 and a quarter. A lot of times I've seen GE gap up like this and just come down and kiss its high and kind of take off. I mean, you also did have two highs there at 1934, 1936, so there's some minor resistance there. Little gap to fill up to 1949, but to me, I don't think you get to 20 today. I'd look for if it really gets above that 1950, which I don't think it's going to do. 1971, that was the high back on April 5th.
Honeywell reported earnings here too. It is up. The theme is up today on earnings. They're really calling us out here. Honeywell 59.5 trading right now after closing at $58 there yesterday. A lot of stuff did sell off yesterday. It is lifting today. I would have said there was a few multiple highs here in this 59 area that would have probably given you some resistance, but we have cut through there. See where it opens though. Keep an eye on that 59. Maybe use it for a swing number. $60. I'm seeing some size start to form there. I know we've traded a bit above it in the pre-market, but it looks like that $60 might give you some resistance off the hop here, Joel.
Yeah, 60.10 was a high. We pulled back down to 59.50. Major support will be down at the area that we broke out here from 58.92 was yesterday's high. Previous day's high was 58.96. But Dennis, I mean, you could call ourselves out on the reaction of the earnings, but also what I said was that you're getting these pops in the pre-market too. And then a lot of the stocks, except for eBay yesterday, they hit this pre-market high. There's this euphoria before the open, and then a lot of times, those high opens are met with sellers. So the scenario is still there for what we've talked about. It's just it seems like when the numbers have been bad, they've been pounding them lower and taking them lower.
Well, they have been pounding them. When the numbers are bad, you get these stories like Riverbed here, Joel, RVBD, and it reported here. Actually reported last night, but the stock is getting just butchered here. A stock is now trading at 21.84. I got a 3 or 4 month chart up there for you. That's not long enough. I got to go back farther here because this stock here is really weak. It's trading at 21.68 now after closing at 27.86, Joel. So RVBD is getting pounded on its earnings report.
Wow, Dennis, look at that thing. Straight off, fell off from 27. Well, the only thing I can say about this one is looking at the pre-market chart here, Dennis, it looks like you're starting to get a little bit of a rounding bottom. A lot of lows here between 21.80, 21.67. It looks like perhaps someone that's short is looking to bring this thing in here. 21.97 was a low we had back in October. If, in fact, it cuts through this 21.70 area, you're looking at major support at 2078 to 2090. Those some lows that we had back in mid-October. Since the stock opened this morning, Dennis, it has not been able to trade above 2275. So keep an eye on that as resistance. Of course, it gets above that 22.75. You could get some pretty nice short covering.
TPX, keeping with our disaster theme, that stock is absolutely murdered here as well. Last night reported earnings. Stock is now down almost 10 points. It was trading at 83.75 going into the report, and at the close, trading 73.99 right now. So kind of in the middle of nowhere. You got that little top that if we go back into July of last year, at 74.81. And then you have a couple bottoms below that because we really broke out at the beginning of the year. We were trading down here closer down to 50 bucks. And we've really run up. So this thing's had such a run, Joel, that a $10 give back, if it gave back 12 or 13, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't even be surprised if this thing tried at $70, but it all depends on, if it's going to continue the momentum down or not here, Joel.
Mattress company, right?
Yeah. Those Tempur-Pedic mattresses. They're real expensive, but they're supposedly really good. I'm too cheap to own one, but...
They're getting laid out this morning. Well, looking at the pre-market activity, Dennis, a lot of times you see these charts and they show absolutely no sign of support when they start to sell off like this in the pre-market. However, this chart's a little bit different. We hit 72.27, kind of, have hit that low, and now we're just kind of fluffing up. It seems like everyone that wanted out has gotten out. That 72.27 is going to be a big number for me. Coming back on the upside, and now it's consolidating around 74. So I'd keep an eye on the 72.77 as call it 73 to be major support in this. And if it gets above 74, it could probably take some of this move back. And Dennis, if it really is going to get crushed, the 69.50 level to 70, those are some lows we had in February in the middle of the month. Those will be major support.
One more disaster for you, SNDK. That's just SanDisk. This is a stock, interesting, really weak going into the report, but even weaker coming out of the report here, Joel. This thing's getting absolutely rocked. It was holding on to a 40 support going into the report. That's gone. History. It's now busted through all that. It's trading 35.85 this morning, so got to go out to the weeklies here to get you a chart. Obviously, we've broken down through that 40, which would eventually become major resistance. It's not even probably going to sniff there today, though. But looking down, you had multiple lows at 33.39, 33.31, or 32.24 and 32.45. We're $3 away from there. I don't know if that comes into play, but maybe swing traders out there, that could be a target where all those multiple lows are. What do you think of SanDisk, Joel?
Dennis, were you trading this in the pre-market because the lows are 33.35?
It got down there in the pre-market. I never know. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then since it hit that level, Dennis, this has been on a stealth of a rally, basically straight up $2. And now we are consolidating at the $36 area. So I think that anybody that picked it up in the pre-market on the cheap is using this $36 level to exit. Above 36, you could just use the half and whole numbers to be resistance coming back. And I imagine now that after trading as low as 33.35, now you're up at 36. What you're going to see now, if we do go into a sell-off, is kind of a backing and a fill-in, meaning that all the people that short at 50 that missed this run down to 33.35 will be putting bids in place.
Schlumberger reported earnings too here, Joe. We had Halliburton earlier in the week. Schlumberger actually got a lift off that, but then drifted back down. Market obviously forgot because it drifted back down after Halliburton reported good earnings. Probably predictable that Schlumberger earnings would be pretty decent as well, which they are, and the stock's popping $2 here. Yesterday's high, 71.25, we're trading pretty significantly above there, 71.97 right now. Call it $72. That's where we're trading right now. This is kind of open here, Joel. This is a tough chart. What do you think?
Yep, 72.05 is where we've topped out in the pre-market. We do have a high back at March 27th at 72.36. So those are going to be your major areas of resistance. Once again, Dennis, we're up on a measly 28,000 shares, and here's a stock that trades pretty decent volume. So buyer beware here. Use the 72 even as an exit point. 72.36 after that. And then if they're really going to jack this thing, Dennis, there's really nothing up to 73.84. But boy, that'd be a heck of a run for Schlumberger.
Some of your European banks are strong overseas. Joel, Deutsche Bank is up over $2, actually now trading up $1.70, so not quite $2. It's pulled back a bit. ING is trading higher here too, Joel. It's up 30 cents. So keep in mind your European banks are strong. These things go up. It seems like the Deutsche Bank goes down $2 one day, up $2 the next. I mean, this thing has just kind of been bouncing around here, a lot over the last couple of months. I guess they're trying to figure out if they've got their crisis problem solved over there or not. Today is a good day, though, so don't be surprised if some of your U.S. financials follow those in sympathy. If you're trading U.S. financials, it's a good idea just to keep those European financials on your screen, even if you're not going to trade them. Sometimes those can be pretty good indicators there, Joel.
Yeah, this Deutsche Bank, Dennis, actually it's been kind of range bound since April 10th. You had a low at 43.39, and then the upper end of the boundary's been in the 46.50 area, and it's been doing that really for quite a few of the last trading sessions. So I'd use those parameters. If the thing gets up to 46.50 today, I'd look to enter some shorts or cover some longs, and then we're quite a ways away from the bottom of the range, but wouldn't look for a breakdown in Deutsche Bank until we take out this 43.39 level.
Just remember, today obviously is options expiration. You're going to see additional volatility at the open. We talked a bit, Joel, about having this not being it looks like a pretty decent opportunity. Possibly you get a setup where we're opening into resistance on quite a few stocks and possibly in the market itself. We had a late day run up yesterday with some buy imbalances. I always think when you have these buy imbalances at the end of the day, and that's the whole reason you ran up, it's not really fundamental news. That's more just order flow stuff. So when all those buys, and this morning you're probably going to see some buy imbalances as well, but when all those get satisfied, sometimes you're left with that air pocket and you can give some back. But obviously you always have to have a contingency plan as well. If that doesn't happen and we start to really rally, if we don't open at the highs and we start to make new highs on the day by a couple, 2-3 points, then I would get nervous with that strategy. So if I'm playing the open today, I'm probably shorting quite a few stocks at the open. But if they don't work for me in the first 5 or 10 minutes, I'm probably looking to maybe cover, just because you could get some follow through.
Yeah, I think on the last expiration that we had too, Dennis, it was a triple wedge. And what did coincide with the high of the move, but I remember some stocks just doing some really crazy opens and not reaching those levels from the rest of the day. But just looking overall at the market, looking at the S&Ps, I mean, we do have a rally here as of right now. Keep an eye on that Globex high, 1380.75. Coming back down, find support at the settlement, 73.50. So got a lot of different setups here on the open, Dennis. We'll let our traders get ready for the open, and we'll be back with our 10:30 a.m. update.